Welcome everyone. My name is Sharon Cowley and today we are going to be going through the voucher registration process for students who wish to take the SAT on a national administration. Our goals for today are to help you understand the registration timeline, review the process, as well as how to monitor the registrations. Let's start with eligibility. A student is eligible to use a voucher for the March 10th National Administration if they are an 11th grade student attending a Colorado public school and if they meet one of the following criteria. They either attend an online school full-time and that school is unable to establish as an SAT testing center, or they are unable to take the SAT on either of the CDE designated school dates because of a religious holiday, or they are unable to take the SAT on either of the dates due to conflicts with legitimate instructional, curricular, or other activities as determined by CDE. Homeschooled students are not eligible for the Colorado SAT, and if you have any questions on that, you can reach directly out to CDE. And vouchers do not apply to PSAT. They are only for the SAT. So the timeline you need to be aware of is by the end of November, you will receive vouchers in your school. For students that are going to be taking the test on the national administration, your SSD coordinator will need to submit their accommodations request no later than January 19th in order for them to be reviewed and approved before the test date. And then the window for students to actually register for the March 10th SAT begins December 1st and runs through February 9th. The test date will be Saturday, March 10th. The vouchers that you'll receive will look the same as the ones you received last year. The use of the vouchers to allow a payment method for students, allowing them to register without having to pay for the weekend administration. Once you receive the vouchers, before distributing to students, you are going to need to add your school's AI code, that's the 6-digit College Board school code, and the student's SACID. They will need the SACID when they register, and that will help us better identify those students for reporting purposes. For students to register, they're going to need a few things with them. First, they're going to need a College Board student account. That account is what's going to allow them to go through the online process. Second, they're going to need their voucher with the code and the AI code, which is your school code, and their SACID number. And then finally, they're going to have to identify a local test center, and this will be the location where the student will take the exam. This may or may not be your school, but they will identify a test center, and that will be where they sit for the SAT. And then the other thing is that for national testing, students are required to upload a photo of themselves, and they will need to bring photo ID on test day. That will be required. They will have an admission ticket that they will need to take with them to the test, as well as their photo ID so that they may be checked in. So let's take a look at what the process looks like. First, students are going to go to collegeboard.org and complete the information to log into their account. If they don't have an account, they're going to create an account. So when they come to the screen, they are actually going to click the sign up link, and that will allow them to enter the information necessary to create their account. Or they can use an existing account. Instead of clicking sign up, they will simply enter their username and password to log in. If they've forgotten their username or password, they can use the links to forget that they forgot their username or password to recover either one of them. Once they're logged in, they're going to see a mini dashboard. And so what they're going to do is choose to register for the SAT or click on the My SAT. Once in My SAT, they are going to choose Register for the SAT. They will get this summary screen that basically will just provide a sense of what the registration process is. There's nothing to be entered here, so they can simply click Continue to move forward. They will be then asked to complete the required information fields. And those fields are the student name, and this should be their legal name or the same name that the school has for the student, the date of birth, their gender, their high school, and here we're asking for the school that they attend, so your school's AI code, and their mailing address. If students would like to receive information about the SAT, they have the option to also add their email address. That is not a required field. And they should not enter the Social Security number or district ID number. Instead, you will leave the Social Security number field blank. It is an optional field. The system will provide the March 10th test date to students, and so what they will do is simply enter in the voucher number that is printed on the voucher along with their student ID. The student ID will be a required number, which is why it's important for you to provide the state ID, the SACID, to the student with their voucher. Once they've entered both of those, they'll choose Continue, and then they'll have the opportunity to complete the optional student questionnaire. This is not required, and students can simply click Continue to go past the questionnaire if they like. At the end of the process, they're going to get the terms and conditions. They will need to review these terms. They're going to be things like their commitment that they will not share information about the SAT, they will not cheat, etc. And so they will click the box to agree and select Continue. They will then come to a screen that will have the test type filled in. It will default to SAT. However, they have the option to add the essay. And so if they would like to add the essay, they will choose Yes under the essay add-on. The other thing they will be asked to include on the screen is if they have any accommodations. If they know their SSD number because they have accommodations, they should enter it. If they do not know or it's unknown, choose No. Finally, for fee waiver and student answer service, those items may be skipped. The next thing they will be asked to do is choose the testing location. They will select from a list of schools. They can search for any of the testing locations that are near them, click Select, and then Continue. As I mentioned before, for national testing, students are required to upload a photo of themselves. There are very specific requirements when they upload that photo. It basically needs to be a full frontal picture of just them. So the screen will provide information to the students. There's also more information posted below the photos that you can't see on the screen, but the photo will need to be uploaded before they can complete the registration. And the use of this photo is on the admission ticket. Before they go to testing, they will need to print an admission ticket. That admission ticket will have their name and other information about themselves along with their photo. In order to enter the test on March 10th, they will need to show their admission ticket as well as an acceptable photo ID that matches the name on their admission ticket. Students will also have the opportunity to choose to purchase SAT practice materials. This again is an option only if they want it. Free practice is available to all students through the Khan Academy site. So in most cases, students will just click Continue here. And then they'll come to a screen that allows them to review their registration. Here they're going to want to check their information carefully. Their name and address and student ID number are accurate. They also want to make sure that they verify the test type. At the bottom, it will say whether they're testing for SAT or SAT with essay. Once all the information is accurate, they're going to click the Confirm Registration button. One final step is that they will need to validate or verify that they did check all of their information. So once they read this and agree, they will click Continue. And then their next steps will be to plan to print an admission ticket prior to test day, make sure they know where they're going to be testing, and then they will have the ability to send their score reports, and in this case they'll send their score reports online up until April 19th. So they have through April 19th to be able to send their 4 free score sends. They also have the ability to check that their registration is completed. Again, they will go to their student account and click on the My SAT, and they will be able to now see in their account where previously they clicked to register, they will see a box for their test registrations. This will again confirm the date that they're testing, what tests they're taking, SAT with essay, and their status. So let's talk about how to monitor registrations. So one of the things that will be important is for you to review as students are registering to make sure that all of your students sign up for the Saturday administration, especially if you happen to be an online school. So to do so, you're going to log into the educator reporting portal using your College Board account. When you come to your dashboard, you are going to choose the roster report. So you're going to choose the SAT roster report to take a look at. This report is updated on a weekly basis over the weekend. So every Monday, this report will reflect the most common or the most recent data for students who registered. If you do not see the screen or you cannot get into the reporting portal, you want to contact your DAC for access. So let's choose SAT and run the report. Once the report comes up, you're going to be able to filter it by grade and test date. And that will help you find just the students that you are looking for. Basically, those 11th graders registered for March 10th. You may need to assist students with some of their information. So some students may be challenged in logging into their account. So as I mentioned before, they can self-recover their username or password. So let's take a look at the username. If they've forgotten their username, they can click the Forgot Username button, and they'll be asked to enter their email address. When they do this, they're going to get an email from College Board, and they will be able to see what their username is. From there, they can go through the sign-on process and get into their account. If they've forgotten their password, they're going to click the Forgot Password link. And then again, they're going to be asked to enter their email address, but they will also be asked for their username. When they enter both of those, they're going to be asked a security question to be able to make sure that it is them. And then they're going to get, they may have, if they don't remember the security question, they can simply ask for an email to be sent with a password link. And so either option is fine. Once they have gone through that process, they will then be allowed to reset their password. So they will enter their new password, confirm it, click reset, and that will allow them to log into their account. They also may be in a situation where they need to update information about themselves. So maybe their email address has changed, their home address has changed. Maybe they transferred into your school, so their school is not listed correctly. So if any of that type of information has changed, When they log in, they can go to the Account Setup button. That will allow them to change any of the information in their account. With that, we have completed the presentation for today. The questions related to this session will be shared as a part of an FAQ. And if you have any other assistance that you're needed, you may contact the College Board directly. This deck, along with other training materials that we have shared for Colorado educators, will be posted on the collegeboard.org/Colorado website. You can also work with your district assessment coordinator and contact either College Board or CDE directly for further questions. Thank you very much and have a great day.